Right, I've just taken a couple of Brave pills and I decided I'm going to have a go fitting this bottom repair panel. I've offered it up and it goes roughly about there. So I'm going to chop this piece out, get that out of the way. Now the thing I have noticed, these swage lines don't line up, so the wing's got to come down a little bit, which might help there, because on the top there I've got to grind a bit off. The swage lines as you go along, they're in line anyway. The back door, got to adjust that, that's in line as well. So someone did recommend I started from the back, which I did, and all the lines are marrying up in the front wing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, before I chop anything out, I think the best thing to do is get this in line. So I think the way to do it, I'm going to undo the bolts I've got on it, see if I can pull it down a little bit. Well, that's the cunning plan. Oh, what could possibly go wrong? Well, I'm going to undo these bolts I put in ages ago. Yeah, they're not imperial, they're all metric. I can put metric ones on. Because the bolts are actually in there, they all seize up. So what I've done, I'll just make some more holes and put some cactus nuts on there. Just undo these. Sorry, I'm put my hand in the way. Oh, they're all loose. But that bit there's in line. What are we going to do? No idea. I'll see if I can pull the door down first. I'm going to take care of that afterwards. It's got to come down. Did I repair that bit? I did. I need to put some mould grips on that and whack it with a hammer so I can put it down. These are the old ones, so I'll bug them up. And it doesn't matter if I mark the wing because it's coming off anyway. It's not moving. What do I do now? Well, I've managed to get it in line. The only way I can do it really is stick a screwdriver in it and pull it down. But then, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up this hole here, first of all. But I think the important thing is to get the swage line in line. So I'll do that first, but then I'm going to have to play around with all this because this is all dropped quite a bit. So I think I'll worry about that afterwards, do one thing at a time. I think the swage line is the most important bit. Even if I've got to cut all this out and bend it up or do something with it, I don't know what we're going to do yet. Still, sure there's a way. Well, let's get cracking in. Well, I'm just going to guess this to start off with. See what it's like. I'll come about there. Right, it does need to go down just a tad more. Not a lot. Doesn't show very well on camera, but it does need to go down a little bit more so. Well, it's got to go down about another 2 or 3 mil. So what I'll do, put a mark on there, and that'll be my mark to work to. down in a minute. Well, I think that's the best time I get it. The door gap down there is pretty good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fix the wing back on with the bolts and then cut this piece off. So what I might do is take the door off. Just whiz the door off because I've got to cut this piece off anyway. Right, as I take the door off, can you keep an eye on these cones, see where they bounce to? I normally drop them everywhere. Oh, got it. Right, that hole's in line. That one's almost. And that one don't matter because I'm going to cut it off anyway. Cut right across here on this cutter. So I think the best thing to do is pin these back in, tighten them up. I might use some shorter bolts this time because the ones I had before were a bit too long. I'll have to put you down for a bit and I'll just bolt this up. I might have to use a little Dremel in there. Right, with the door off, I can cut this piece off. I didn't show you before, but I did actually mark the end of the seal with a bit of chalk. So I'm going to sit and get this colour. I'll chop this off first, cut that piece off, and then I think it's just a question of really getting the door back on and see where we are. I know I've got to cut this a bit more. Well, I made a lot of balls up of this. Anyway, I've got this piece on. I know you can't see it. Oh, got a self tapper in there. The bit over there, that's a line that isn't. So I'm going to have to sort of blend it in. So I'm not too fussed about that bit. Bit I've buggered up, which I'll show you. Is it cutting easy? Look. I think Stevie Wonder could have done a better job on that. Anyway, let's don't worry about it too much at the moment. So what I'm going to do, he's actually hitting the, I know you can't really see, but underneath it's hitting a little bit. So I'm going to take a grinder and relieve it right back. Because what I end up doing, I'm going to put like an end cap in it. Oh, I've got a bit of spare metal here. It's going to be like a piece of metal that's going to go in there like that. Let me get a piece of metal, I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, like I was saying, I'll get a piece of metal and put it in there like that. Then sort of weld up there, and hopefully they take care of dodgy lines. I just need to grind, like I just said, need to take this back off, grind the relief on that, and then we're pretty much there. I think what I might do is, while the door's off, I'll probably cut, well you can't see that, it came up there. Right, still can't see it. You see that? I'm going to cut across here with a little Dremel. cut that wing. And give me a bit of a chance to get this back on and take this piece right out. Now I'm going to have to obviously put an infill down there somewhere. So you can see that's the bit that's cut out. That's slotted in there nicely. What I'll do, I'll put a self tapper on there, just hold it roughly in place. Then what I'm going to do now is, what I'm going to do, hang the door, and I'm going to see how the seal fits. I know it looks like a massive great big gap there at the moment, but it's not going to be too bad, because once it gets all pushed in like that, I'll put a piece of plate in there, tack, tack, tack. I have to weld it all in then. What I might do in the meantime, what I might actually do, I've got to fill that little hole up. I'll do is fill that little hole up, so I might do that now before I hang the door up. So fill that gap up there. Well, I didn't show you a couple of little bits because it's quite boring me just cutting pieces of metal out and welding them up. So I have to fill it, put a little bit of infill there. That's okay. I'll give it a bit of a paint up in a minute. The other bit is under there. I have to weld a piece in. I won't touch it because it's a bit hot. Actually, I forgot about the return on here. That bit there. That's got something to weld to. So anyway, I'll weld that piece there on there now. So welds are okay. I'll give them a clean up and a paint, but this seal only goes to about there anyway. So, alright, this is the bottom of the repair panel. I've had to straighten it out and do all sorts of things with it. But what it hasn't got is a return lip on it, like that. So what I'm going to do, I've measured it all out. I'm going to put this piece of metal on there like that. So I can clip it on something. Well, just hold this piece in there like that. Get off. Right, I can put this back on again. As you can see, there's an extra piece of metal there, and you can't see it down the bottom. I've been messing around with this for about an hour or so now, so it should go on alright. Right, That's gone there nice, yeah, it sort of marries up. It's not too bad a fit, that sucks. What I was wanting to show you is underneath. Oh. Right, so that's the bottom, this is the bottom of the repair panel. Oh, it's banging up a bit, doesn't it? And that is going to be tacked to that. And that is going to be welded to that. Well, that's the cunning plan anyway. I hope it all makes sense. And this big gap here, you can see there, I'm going to put a piece of plate in there, which I haven't got anything here at the moment. I'll put a bit of filler. And I'll put a bit of plate in there like that. And that should close the gap up nicely. Well, I've been having loads of problems with fitting this. A lot of it's been down to me, I think. I've had to started off with this edge there's all jagged here. I don't know how I did that, not the state of it, but I'm sure it'll be okay. The actual panel itself, I've been playing around with it for about an hour, 2 hours. I've been bending this and all sorts. Now, this is what I've come up with now. I don't know if you can see underneath here. The thing I've actually just put a little bit of plate on there. It's only a little tiny bit there. It's so that when this edge goes against it, I can just weld it to it, and that'd be like a return. Because I've actually cut all this off. Oh, that's making sense. I've got it to sort of fit the best I can at the moment. Let's put this back on. I'll find the screws that I took off and threw on the floor. I had to take a little break from this because when something doesn't go right, what normally happens is you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and obviously you're going to get the same result. So I took a little break. Well, I actually took the morning off, and I thought, have the morning off, and I'll see if I can come up with a better solution, which I think I have now. So let's put another screw in. I think I might have cracked it, I think. Oh, I'll put the other screw in, but I've lost it. Where's it gone? Oh, it is. I'm going to put it in, I'll just show you it does pull up. Right, problems I've got loads of problems actually. That actually sort of marries up there quite nice in there. Now I'm going to have to, obviously, not obviously really, but it needs to cup a little bit now, doesn't it? Oh, that is going. Anyway, that doesn't marry up to that very well. So what I'm going to do, like the other side, I'm just going to slot it. Might go back quite a way actually, slot it and then push it in. That'll fit. Also, I've got problems with the door gap here, but not much I can do about that really, because I've been doing door gaps right from the back of the car, and the gaps are actually really nice apart from this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get all this seal on and blah blah blah, and I'm just going to run the disc cutter down, all the way down there like that. You can't see all the way down there, and I'm just going to open it up and mould it back again. So I think what I need to do now is get this in position, and I'll see if I can lay underneath and tack that on, and take all this off, and I'll show you what I've done. Oh, that's sort of welded. That's the inside of it. I won't touch it because it's a bit hot at the moment. I'm not going to bother. There's the text underneath, it focuses. I'm not going to bother cleaning it up just yet because I've got to see if I can get it fitting a bit better. So I'm just going to pin it back on again and see what it looks like. Well, I don't know if you can see or not, but I've actually packed a bit of aluminium there between the bottom of the door and the top of the seal. So there is a bit of a gap there. I'm going to sort the door out later. So I can get this back on. The only downside to this at the moment is the biggest downside. I've had to move this up so the holes that I've got on there will be out of line there. It's got to go something like that. Okay, I think we're getting better on it. Everything seems to be, apart from the horrible gap, I think that is. Okay, a bit more progress. I was going to end that video there, but I got a bit carried away. I've cut this little bit of plate out. It's just to cap this off. Now, I've done, oh, I want to bump the camera, that's a good idea. That fits in there like that. And then I'll move you around the other side. And all I've got to do, obviously cut this to shape properly and weld all this in. You can see where that's got to go. I'll sort of play around with it for quite a while. So what I'll do is let's quickly put this back on.